Hi. So I'm just here to welcome all of you. Thanks for beating the Bangalore traffic and making it here. We've assembled here today with a mix of our existing customers who've been using Kaleyra's platform for a while, and obviously people who are looking at a futuristic roadmap to have omni-channel communication, to have different digital touchpoints within their ecosystem. So the idea to get together today is just to have a little bit of insight on how the future of communication is shaping up, what is there to look forward, to connect with industry peers and have some exchange of good thoughts and ideas, and then look forward to a little bit of networking. I would like to thank all of you once again for making it. I would also like to thank Meta and WhatsApp Business, our partners for the evening today, and Brand Equity, to make this happen today. Thank you so much and welcome you all. And I leave the stage for the further process. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ankit. And now we will have Mauro Carobene. Sorry, my bad. Mauro, please come on stage, and apologies for pronouncing your name wrong. And we look forward to your insights on the hyperconnected future.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so first, couple of comments. Carobene. Try to repeat. Perfect. Okay. Later on, during the drink and the dinner, I will test with all of you to know if you learn my name. So my name is Mauro Carobene. As I just said, I'm the Chief Business Officer of Kaleyra. I'm Italian. I live in Milano, and I'm super happy to be here. So being Italian, I follow the stereotype, so I try not to follow the rules. So despite the title of today is about the future, my idea is to talk a lot about the past. I'm a strong believer that we need to learn from the past, and the idea is very much to talk about communication. And you know that Kaleyra is a platform or provide communication platform as a service. And the main topic is to understand what does it mean to communicate. And in order to understand it, I thought about looking at the past. So what's happened in the history of communication? Now, I will not go through all of these, but the history tells us that the first long-distance communication was done with smoke signals. Lot of theory about it. Some culture, like Greek culture, they started just with fires. Others, they started with smoke and so on. But slowly in the year, communication improved, started using other channels. Pigeon was the second one. Until when in 1400, the press was invented, and then communication became one-to-many. So it was possible to repeat communication. So the press was the moment in which, okay, I can print a book, I can print a newspaper, I can do something that I can repeat many times. Then we move, so that was called the visual area. Then we moved in the wired area. The wired area had few inventions, 1800, the telegraph, the telephone, the video phone before the Second World War, and then moving forward with the broadcast area, radio, television. And then we are getting close to our days where, sorry about that, I'm trying to press a lot of time, but okay, where we started to get in the wireless area. Pager, portable phone, mobile phone, email. Okay, I'm 53 years old, and my first job was in Nokia. It was 95. The first SMS was sent in 92. So at that time, I remember that all the communication was about SMS. And finally, we reach our days. Smartphone, voice over IP, and then number of application. Is it Skype? Is it WhatsApp? Is it, of course, there are many others. Now, the question is, what do we learn from this journey? So there are few things that are clearly happening. First of all, the cost of every single communication, of every single message is decreasing in a way that is not even linear. Let's say switching on a fire to do a smoke signal, just going back to the prehistory, was super expensive in terms of time, in terms of all the material that you needed to use. Having a pigeon, printing a newspaper, let's say, all of this was super expensive. Now if you think about the cost of single transaction, single communication, it's super small. The second thing is the time to communicate. So the time to pass a message, to pass a communication, again, was super high and became super short. Now, what does it mean? It means that the efficiency in terms of communication is much better now. The unitary cost and the time to receive the information, they both decrease significantly. But at the same time, something else happened. So there are two other KPI that are super important. One is the time to action. Now, the time to action, once you were waiting a smoke signal, so I take really the extreme, you were just waiting. So as soon as the signal was done, people were acting immediately. They were aware. Now, we move, one big change that happened is being able to communicate in real time, but store the communication. So one thing that happened recently is that all the communication is stored somewhere. So you are not forced, unless you get a phone call, if it doesn't go in the voicemail, you are not forced to act immediately. And this is clearly has an impact on the effectiveness of the communication. The second thing that is happening, that in my opinion is one of the most important things, is the amount of unwanted communication. We can call it spam, we can call it whatever. But the main point is there is a research done from an analyst, it's called Mobile Squared, that say, but I got also similar statistic 2 days ago from one of our partners. If I remember correctly, every day in India there are 60 billion messages sent. Okay, taking, let's say, out of the 1.4 billion people living in India, I assume that, I don't know, let's make something simple, 1 billion receiving SMS or reading SMS. It's higher the number, but this means 60 messages per day. Now, this means that, and this doesn't count, of course, the WhatsApp, doesn't count the voice call, doesn't count all of this. Now, are all this communication effective? Are all this communication reaching the target? And that's really, from my point of view, looking at the future now, not looking at the past, is the main point. Now, I will say something that all my sales team here will kill me, but it's not about communicating more. It's not about sending more message. It's about communicating better. And that, from my point of view, is what our industry has as a mission. So if we just double the amount of communication that we send, and every single person in India will get 120 communication, whatever it is, it's SMS, WhatsApp, voice, whatever, per day, we will lose the effectiveness. So people will not read, people will not act. At the end, the most important parameter is the time to act. Let's say, if I send any communication, I want the user to act based on that communication. If it's a OTP password, I want the user to log in. If it's a marketing campaign, I want the user to buy something. If it's an emergency message, I want the user to run away or do whatever it's the emergency about. But the main point is that to make it effective, to make it really working, we need all of us to learn how to communicate better. And then there are a number of things that need to happen. Now, I promise not to do any sales pitch, so I will not talk about product, I will not talk about anything else. But before we were listening about right channel, right communication. There are people that prefer to get email or people that prefer to get SMS. Now, how do we know what is the right channel I need to use for that specific user in that specific moment? What is the right moment to do it? And all this kind of intelligence is that what we need together to build in order to be more effective. How to reduce unwanted and non-relevant communication. How to give the possibility to end user to opt out from receiving communication. How to use channels that are much more powerful in terms of enabling conversation, understanding exactly what the user wants to receive. So that's what we try to do. That's what I hope we will discuss in the next round table or fireside chat. And so far, thank you very much for the attention, and look forward also to talk more about all these things. with all of you later on, maybe with a glass of wine in our hands. Thank you very much.